You know that feeling, right? That weird mix of excitement and just, well, pure terror on the first day of a new job. It's something pretty much all of us go through, but it's often totally overlooked. So today, we're going to unpack the psychology behind those first day jitters and talk about how to flip that anxiety into a real recipe for success.
So, scarier than skydiving? You'd think that's a joke, right? But think about the most stressful things you can imagine. For a surprising number of people, starting a new job actually ranks higher than things we'd all agree are terrifying, like public speaking, or even, jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
And this isn't some rare thing. The data is pretty clear. A whopping 87% of people admit to having new job jitters. Let that sink in. That's nearly 9 out of every 10 people walking through the door on their first day feeling that same knot in their stomach. So if you've ever been there, you are definitely not alone.
Okay, so let's get into it. These jitters, they're not just a passing feeling you can shake off. As we're about to see, they have some pretty real, tangible consequences, not just for the new person, but for the company too.
I mean, just look at how this stacks up. It's kind of wild. For a lot of people, the stress of starting a new job is even worse than getting a performance review. It just shows you how psychologically intense that first day can be. It's a big deal.
And here's where that feeling starts to really cost a company. It hits performance hard. 22% of workers, that's almost 1 in 4, say they just can't do their best work because those first-day nerves are completely overwhelming. Just imagine that. A quarter of your brand new talent is already being held back right out of the gate.
So where is all this anxiety coming from? Well, if we put it under a microscope, the anatomy of new hire anxiety usually boils down to 4 main fears. And I bet these are going to sound pretty familiar. First up, you've got the fear of the unknown. I mean, you're walking in totally blind, right? Simple things become huge questions. Where's the bathroom? Where's the good coffee? What's the team vibe really like? This uncertainty alone is a massive source of stress.
And then, of course, there's social anxiety. This one's huge because it taps right into our basic human need to belong. You're just flooded with questions like, are people going to like me? Am I going to fit in? It's basically like being the new kid at the school lunch table all over again. But now, you're an adult.
And then there's this one, imposter syndrome. That little voice in the back of your head whispering that you somehow tricked everyone during the interviews and that at any moment they're going to figure out you don't actually know what you're doing.
And if you think that's just a fringe feeling, get this. A staggering 65% of new hires feel this during onboarding. So this isn't some rare personal quirk. It's an internal battle that the majority of your new teammates are fighting, usually in complete silence.
And finally, there's just the sheer cognitive burnout from information overload. You know what I'm talking about? The mountain of HR paperwork, the security badges, the endless policy documents, setting up a million new accounts. It feels like you're drowning in admin before you've even written a single email.
Okay, so it's clearly tough for the new hire, but this is where all that personal anxiety starts to become a really big deal for the business itself. Tackling these nerves isn't just a nice to have, it's an absolutely critical business strategy.
Which brings us to the big question that every single leader should be asking. Okay, people are nervous. So what? Do these first-day jitters actually hit the company's bottom line?
Oh yeah, a big yes. The difference is absolutely night and day. A poor onboarding experience can cause 20% of new hires to walk out the door within the first 45 days, 1 in 5. But on the flip side, get it right, and you can improve retention by 82% and see productivity jump by over 70%. The numbers don't lie.
So you'd think every company would be all over this, right? Well, the data shows there is a massive opportunity here. Only about 12% of employees feel like their company does a great job with onboarding. That means 88% of companies have some serious room for improvement.
All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk solutions. How do we actually fix this? Let's get into the practical, actionable strategies that can take that day one experience from terrifying to terrific.
It really comes down to this 5-step game plan. The whole idea is to stop thinking of onboarding as a one-day event and start seeing it as a process. It's about getting ahead of the uncertainty before they even start and then building a real support system from the moment they arrive.
Let's just double-click on fostering social connections for a second, because this one is so powerful. We're talking about really simple things here. Assigning a friendly buddy for all those stupid questions, grabbing lunch as a team on the first day, or even just having a few coworkers send a quick welcome email. These small things make a huge difference in fighting that outsider feeling.
And hey, this isn't just a gut feeling. This buddy system really works.
More than half of new hires, 56%, said having that one dedicated person to go to was massively helpful for them to get up to speed and feel like they actually belonged.
So here's the big mindset shift. We have to completely reframe what onboarding even is. It is not, I repeat, not a bureaucratic checklist. It is a critical psychological transition period for a person.
And the whole point of that transition is to build one thing: psychological safety. That's just a fancy way of saying you're creating an environment where it's okay to be new. It's safe to ask questions, it's safe to not know everything, and it's safe to learn without feeling like you're being judged.
I absolutely love how the source material puts this. Think about it. You were so excited about this person that you hired them. Don't let all that excitement just evaporate. The goal is to make them feel like the rock star you hired, right from day one.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Take a hard look at your own company's process and ask this question. Is your onboarding just an administrative hurdle people have to get through, or is it your first and maybe your most important investment in your people?